What is the best way to make your audience cry? Start out by showing them happy scenes of a life that is about to be ripped away from the main character, while the whole time the beautiful music of Joe Harnell plays in the background. In the beginning flashbacks of David Banner's life in the pilot episode, we see his first wife, Laura Banner, and him doing common, ordinary things together. We see them walking in the rain, fishing and falling into the water, cooking, and even a sad moment in between they shared, and more happy moments like a snow fight and dancing under a disco ball. But then the music changes, and while the scene appears to be just a happy outing in a car, a tire blows out, and just like that, David Banner's life changes forever. The car flips and catches on fire. He tries to lift the car enough to get the door open, but he lacks the strength to save his beloved wife. And then he wakes out of the nightmare. But it's not just a dream, it's a sad recollection of his past life. The look on Banner's face shows a man in complete despair and loneliness. It really gets you when Banner looks to the other side of his bed where his wife once would have lain, and then he reaches toward that side of the bed, but no one's there. Of course, all this tragedy and sadness is necessary to lead us to the creation of the Incredible Hulk. It's not just a series of events to get Banner to expose himself to gamma rays, but it also sets us up emotionally for the Hulk's first appearance. This Hulk will be a creature of rage going deep into emotional loss. He has a reason to be angry that goes well beyond the mundane inconveniences of everyday life, like red lights and traffic jams. Something dawned on me while I was making this video, and that's the fact they really didn't say a lot about Laura Banner in future episodes. It's actually kind of strange they didn't do more flashbacks later on to expound on Banner's past in further detail. One has to assume that David never stopped thinking about her, of course. But the emotional upheaval doesn't stop in the pilot with the death of Laura. David works side by side with Dr. Elena Marks as they try and figure out how to cure David Banner, which leads to a fire and an explosion in the lab, causing her tragic death scene where the monster must watch helplessly as she passes away and reveals that she loved David Banner and always would.
I have loved you for such a very long time. And I always will.
David Banner's third tragedy involving a love of his life occurs on the two-part episode Married, which is the first episode of the second season. In this one, he falls in love with Dr. Carolyn Fields after seeking her aid with his Hulk problem. And she faces a life-threatening disease that the two hope to find a cure for. Despite the circumstances, Banner asks Carolyn to marry him.
Marry me.
And when she asks why, he tells her an interesting story about living in the moment. He says, I once heard a story about a man being chased by a tiger. He came to a cliff. He fell, but he grabbed a branch and he just hung there, just out of reach of the tiger. And he looked down. You know what he saw? Another tiger waiting for him to drop. And then he felt that the branch he was clinging to was coming out of the cliff by the roots. Now, while all this was happening, he noticed something. He noticed growing in a cleft beside him a single wild strawberry. And with his free hand, he reached out and he picked it and he ate it.
And he thought to himself, what a wonderful strawberry.
I love you, Dave.
I love you, Carol.
Now, Banner has nightmares about Carolyn's impending death, which seems unavoidable. Dreams where Carolyn actually gets on a bus that is driven by Death himself. And when a hurricane sweeps through Hawaii, it seems as though death wins just as predicted in Banner's nightmare.
I'll miss you, David.
once again, Banner is all alone. The irony of Carolyn's death is that unlike his first wife, this time he had the power of the Hulk, and yet neither that nor his scientific knowledge, which should have aided him to save Carolyn, his second wife, was able to help him prevail in the end.
You weren't married very long, huh?
Oh, it never would have been long enough.
Now, the third Saddest time that I recall is the 4th season episode, The First. Banner's finally got a cure in hand, but another Hulk creature embodied by Del Fry smashes the container, leaving David in tearful rage as once again his chance at a normal life is just ripped away from him. You have to imagine from the tears and the anguish on Banner's face that all the hurt and anger of an entire lifetime is just about to explode. Bill Bixby's acting here is so real, I can't help but wonder if he wasn't in fact channeling his own sadness and personal tragedies. If you'd like to see more on the episode The First, I have an entire video dedicated to that 2-part episode. I put a link in the description to the complete series of DVDs and Blu-ray set at Amazon if you'd like to help out the channel and watch the entire Hulk series at the same time. Now, before you go, please like and comment. Which scenes do you think were the saddest? Was there any sad moments on the Hulk TV series that I forgot to mention? And if you need to laugh to get over all this sad stuff, then we have lots of funny videos on this TV Crazy Man channel, like What If Frosty the Snowman Joined the Super Friends? And I've got a new cartoon channel called Freddy Cat Cartoons. I'll put a link to it in the description as well. But thanks and have a great day.